Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Spynes from CZT Heidi Kay. So this is a neat spiral pattern. So we're going to, in the center of whatever you're wanting, wherever you're wanting to place this, we're just going to start a spiral. That's the first step, and you want to kind of make it wide, like so. If you've ever done the Tangle Diva Dance Rock and Roll, this one is similar. I think I do have a video on that one. I'm going to have to double check that. And I'll explain why it's similar as we go. All right, so once you have this beginning of a spiral, then we're going to add some little triangles, so some little spikes. Wherever you want them. I'm just going to put 3 because that's about all that will fit. Whoops. And have them meet, which is always a nice idea. Okay. Then we're going to utilize the hollow bow technique and continue this spiral around. So when we get to a triangle, we're going to pick up our pen, travel it through, and then put the pen down on the other side versus going over. And that will give us the drawing under that we want to have with this. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, there we go. Feel like I have my pen in my tile turned in the right direction. All right, so here I've come to this one. Oh, all of a sudden it looks like it's like a bird bowing. If I put, never mind. All right. And then you kind of, like at the beginning, decide what distance you want in between in your spiral, and then continue. Actually, I'm going to stop right there. So with similar to Diva Dance Rock and Roll, you do your spiral, to a certain place, then put these triangles in, these spikes, then continue your spiral, and pretty much till you get to the end of the ones you added, and then we can add some more. So this one does kind of continue on this layer. So I'm going to put one here, just because I want to. And you can just have them staggered. This is a however you want it to be type of tangle. And going around, like I said, however you want them. Then. And it's just taking turns. Now we're going to continue. What I sometimes do is just kind of, okay, here's my spiral, trace, and then put my pen down, and then continue along its little path. And then anytime you come, well, that one's pretty much right at the top, but we're still going to hollow bow it. Oops. And just remembering to turn the tile as needed. And so what we're doing is we're creating a new surface to put some more of these little triangles on. And if you want to make them big enough so that way they at least go over, one additional spiral. So that gives it that effect. Now, you could also, kind of have them go over each other if need be. Again, this is just how you envision and where you want to put your little triangles. And then I'm just having mine go off of the page like so. All right, then we keep going around. And this part is the part, good to go slow. This is one of those when it's a curved line, and because essentially you're auraing the spiral that as you're continuing it. And this is one where I fight with myself between having a clear view of what I'm auraing or having the natural curve in my hand. Usually the natural curve in my hand wins, because you can kind of see it, but going slow helps. All right, and let's continue this. All right, and then we add some more. Like I said, this is all up to however you want to do it. And I'm having mine just go off the edge. And this will probably be the last time around. See, and then sometimes I do it the other way. I don't know. I flip back and forth, and you know what? That is also fine. But what the main thing you want to do to feel like you do this successfully is really keeping an eye on the distance between your spiral layers, we'll call that, and working the hollow bow technique, so that way on one side of the, where you're coming in, and then when you're coming out, although with the curve it makes it a little bit forgiving, so that's always good. And then we're just going to add one right here because it would be about there and here as well, so that way it looks like we've totally gone off the page, like so. All right, now if you take a look at the description section, where I'll have my step out as well as a link to Tangle Patterns, where you can see Heidi's work, her step out, but more importantly, the samples and things, with her playing with it, so that way you can see. She didn't necessarily add shading to this, but I have a second one here, and I tried to do this one a little bit wider, and because here's what I wanted to try. So you can also decorate, color in, put textures, put other tangles in there, but this is what I wanted to play with. And let's see which direction. I think we're going to go, okay, we're going to go on the underside, and I'm just going to lay some graphite down, and I'm not going to go over. We're going to stay going under. And we're going to go all the way around, and this just gives you one idea for some shading. Let's just see what, because, one of those, I get very curious, and it's like, well, let's just see how it turned out. So we'll do this far. And this, because it is kind of small, I did start doing little circles, but I realized, no, that's not going to necessarily work. So we're just kind of going to do more of a back and forth motion. And it will spread it out, give us a gradient. And for something like this, you want to make sure to have a fairly new tortillon, something that has a nice tip. There are some places that you can get them where they have different sizes. And then there's also a thing called a, stump. And those are, it's more like a tightly packed paper, where this, you can see the grooves on it. But the stump, oh, see, that's neat. Okay, so we'll continue. The stump is like I said, is tightly packed, and those I have one somewhere, of course not handy. That's a real fine point. Now those you can like sharpen, use an emery board or sandpaper or something like that, where the regular tortillon, not so much. That the best if it gets, if the tip gets mashed in, you can pop it out with a toothpick or an unfurled paper clip, something to poke into the end. But and it gives them a little bit more life. Part of me is wishing maybe if I had a little I don't know, a finer point on this pencil. Looks like we can kind of do that, because it would have been, the line is just outside of that border. All right, so we will continue. And I think that the stumps, because it's different, it's way smoother. You're gonna get a little bit different look. I like that this is a little bit scratchy, so it kind of picks up the graphite and then moves it around. but that's something that you can certainly play with. Now you could also do the other side, doing it the other way, where going on the outside of the spiral versus, I'm just calling it on the inside of the spiral to get a different look, probably get somewhat the opposite look. So that's neat. So add some dimension. Add some dimension for sure. So but that's something that you can decide. You can have it. Where did I hear? Oh, I was watching a Zentangle video and Rick said flat and cartoon-like, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. So you can do this, you can do this, you can do a bunch of other things. You can, as I mentioned, fill in, color, add patterns. And actually, I think that Heidi might have had a sample it had like a double line instead. So lots of things that you can do with these. My main aim here is to get the basic down, and then you can have fun, right? All right, as I mentioned in the description section, there are step outs, links to them. Also links to connect with me if you wish. I do, if you're interested in online classes, I do free classes once a week, and then add some. I do have some classes that are a paid class, but I also have a club membership where, for right now, until I get it all squared away, at least at the time of this recording, I have a kind of a special deal where you can be a founding member of the club, and as I'm getting things set, at the very minimum, you know that you're supporting this content as well as included our the paid classes, and that alone is at a discount. So anyway, enough for the plug. Also, if you liked it, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. Make sure to give it a thumbs up is also nice. When you hit the subscribe button, make sure to also define how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all on these. Sometimes it's just nice to subscribe so that way you can come back and see, you can view your subscription, the people you subscribe to, and then pick what content you want to go take a look at. Up to you. I just want to make sure that you know that that's there. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This was a fun tangle, and I wish you happy tangling.